Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Dr. Abdul Momin and I am currently working as assistant professor at University of Lahore Islamabad campus and also as consultant clinical dietitian at Early Medical Center FR Islamabad. Okay, so today I'm going to present about a very interesting research, which is iron fortificants and prebiotics, a novel combination to boost immunity in anemic models. And since all of us are going through this coronavirus pandemic and everyone is talking about how can we actually boost our immunity or optimize our immunity, if we put it this way, so this is something very interesting in that particular aspect. Next please. To start off with, basically, as you know that the current world population is approximately 7.7 billion. Next please. And it is and it is growing at a rate of 1.4%, and according to the current projections, it is estimated that we will reach a figure of approximately 8 billion by the end of year 2030. And as the world's population is increasing, so are the food requirements to cater to the increasing population. And along with the increase in food requirements, there are a lot of problems related to nutrition, and one of the major problems is known as hidden hunger, which we also call as micronutrient deficiencies. And it has been estimated that approximately 2 billion people across the globe are currently affected by the micronutrient deficiencies in one way or the other, which is definitely a huge number. Next please. Next slide please. Yes, the most common micronutrient deficiencies include those of iron, iodine, zinc, vitamin A, and folic acid. And there are several consequences related to these micronutrient deficiencies, which include poor health status, stunting and wasting among children, mental retardation, decreased learning abilities, and definitely reduced capacity to perform daily work, and premature deaths as well. Any age group can be affected by micronutrient deficiencies. However, infants under 5 children, women of reproductive age, and pregnant and lactating women are the most commonly affected age groups. Next, please. So, iron deficiency is the biggest micronutrient deficiency worldwide, and basically it occurs due to deficiency of iron. So whenever there is not an appropriate intake of iron through diet, or our body cannot utilize or absorb whatever iron we are taking from diet, iron deficiency anemia develops. Next please. So basically, for the purpose of this research, we used prebiotics, and a prebiotic is defined as a non-viable food substance component which exhibits selective fermentation and moves to the colon to ferment bacteria, and eventually it improves the health of the host. So there are several benefits associated with the prebiotics. Next please. Next slide please. Yes, so these health benefits include prevention of colon cancer, reduction of cholesterol levels, so basically they reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases, then reduction of different diseases such as inflammatory bowel disease. Then prebiotics, when consumed, they also help in weight loss. And most importantly, recent evidence has indicated that prebiotics also help in the absorption of divalent minerals such as iron, calcium, and magnesium. Several prebiotics are there. Most common ones are inulin, galactoligosaccharides, fructooligosaccharides, mannan, and xyloligosaccharides. And the foods which are good sources of prebiotics include chicory, onion, garlic, leeks, chickpeas, lentils, barley, oats, and bran of different cereals. Well, prebiotics help in the absorption of minerals. So we are not really sure as to which particular metabolism or mechanism actually leads to this increase in absorption. However, several theories have been put forward. One of the theories suggests that when prebiotics are consumed, osmotically active sugars are produced, which increase passive absorption of minerals, and some weak acids are produced. These weak acids then decrease the luminal pH, and they convert the ferric form of iron into the ferrous form. And as we already know, ferrous is the more readily absorbable form of iron in the human body. Next, another theory suggests that prebiotics actually, next please. that prebiotics, when actually consumed, they are fermented in the colon and produce short-chain fatty acids such as acetic, propionic, and butyric acid, and these short-chain fatty acids enhance the surface area for absorption of minerals, and as a result of that, absorption of iron or calcium is increased. The third theory suggests that these are involved in the expression of genes which regulate the absorption of iron, or for that matter calcium. Next please. Please next, since we are running short of time, so I would not like to go into the details of global prevalence. We already know that iron deficiency anemia is a big huge problem, not only in Pakistan but also across the globe. Can you please go to slide 21 directly, so that we can straight away come to the objective of this current study. Slide 21 please. Can you please go to slide 21 directly, please? Yes. So basically, the objective of the current research was to probe the synergistic effect of two prebiotics, galacto-oligosaccharides and inulin, and two iron fortificants, sodium iron EDTA and ferrous sulfate, against various types of immunoglobulins in anemic female Sprague dolly rats. So next. So for this particular research, we got female Sprague dolly rats whose age were 6 to 8 weeks, and they were 126 in number. And as I already mentioned, we use sodium iron EDTA and ferrous sulfate as iron fortificants, and inulin and GOS as prebiotics. Next. So this was the treatment plan. There were two control groups. One was a positive control, which were given no iron fortificants or prebiotics, and the other was the negative control, in which we actually made the rats anemic, and then we did not give them any fortificants or prebiotics. Next, please. Then another 8 groups were made using inulin at a rate of 722 and 963 mg per kg, along with different combinations of sodium iron EDTA and ferrous sulfate at 10 and 20 ppm and 15 and 30 ppm respectively. Next please. Another 8 groups were made using galacto-oligosaccharides at same dose of 722 and 963 mg per kg, and again NF-EDTA and ferrous sulfate were used as iron fortificants. So prebiotic dose was calculated using human equivalent dose formula, which is in front of you. So the recommended dose of prebiotics for human consumption is 6 to 8 grams per day, and according to that, the dose was calculated for the rats. Next. So we divided 126 rats into 18 groups. As I've already mentioned, we had 2 control groups and 16 treatment groups. There were 7 rats in each group, and the rats were initially fed with a standard diet for 1 week acclimatization period before beginning the experiment, and they were housed in stainless steel cages with the temperature of approximately 23 degrees Celsius and humidity of approximately 55%. Next. Next please. Yes. Firstly, iron deficiency anemia was induced in rats by feeding them with iron binder CCl4, and then we attained the baseline values. Then fortified feed which consisted of prebiotics and iron fortificants was fed to the rats orally on daily basis for a period of 12 weeks, and blood samples were taken after every 4 weeks up to 12 weeks. So basically we took 4 readings at the baseline, 30th day, 60th day and 90th day. These were the 4 different types of immunoglobulins which were studied: IgA, IgE, IgG and IgM. Next please. So the statistical analysis was obviously performed using Minitab. Next. Yes, and accordingly ethical considerations were ensured. Next please, can you go to the results slide? So we actually got promising results. Next please, results. So the results of our study showed that yes, So the results of our study showed that all the four types of immunoglobulins, that is IgA, IgE, IgG, and IgM, for these significant variations existed across the groups, study intervals, as well as for the interaction between groups and study intervals, which is evident from the tables. Please, can you go to the next slide? So this is the table for the effect of fortified diets on immunoglobulin A level. So as you can see that across the span of 30 days, so immunoglobulin levels, IgA levels, these were significantly decreased from 0 day to 90th day. And the groups which performed the best were group G4, G8, G15 and G16. Next, please. Yes, and similar trends were observed in terms of immunoglobulin E levels along with immunoglobulin G and immunoglobulin M levels, whereby we could see that across the span of 90 days, these levels of immunoglobulin significantly decreased, and this led to the observation that prebiotics, when combined with iron fortificants, actually improved the immunity levels of anemic rats. Next, please. Next, please. So our study basically concluded that when prebiotics were given in combination with iron fortificants to anemic rats, their immunity was boosted, and we actually concluded that since prebiotics have several health benefits as well, so dual benefits of prebiotics can be attained by their consumption with iron fortificants. That is, they can not only improve our gut health and prevent us from various diseases as already mentioned, but they can also boost the immunity in anemic models. So our recommendation, please next, our recommendation would be that such studies should also be conducted in human models so as to further exploit this particular aspect of prebiotics, and industry and academia linkage should also be further strengthened so that such researches can be further supported. Thank you so much. That is all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,